Good evening, depending on when you're watching this, and welcome to another episode of Dad's Driving. Just got myself a free pastry at Lidl, sadly not sponsored, but hey Lidl, if you want to sponsor me, then I would be very happy about that. Because I got a voucher and it said free pastry and it was about to expire today, so just remembered it. So I thought, oh, you know what, get myself a nice free pastry. And who doesn't like a pastry? And I think that's the USP for Lidl pastries. Oh Jesus Christ now! Don't annoy me now. So yeah, let's see if that holds. If not, then you will get to see a bit more up into my nose if it falls again. So what can we talk about today? Yeah, a little bit about Summer Games Fest, seeing that we are in the final stages. Basically, I think it's over today, or maybe it was technically over yesterday or so. So I was able to catch up on the Microsoft extended thing, like where they showed a little bit more, talked a little bit more about the games and all that jazz. And I think the biggest highlight there was Keanu Reeves. I mean, Keanu Reeves is always a highlight. Anywhere that man goes, it's just it feels like he's such a positive life force somehow, which was cool. Otherwise, I think Microsoft missed a beat there, not to show enough gameplay, but kind of like just take what they had and add some form of interview to it, to what they've already shown. For instance, Senua's Sacrifice. No, not Senua's Sacrifice. What is it? The second Senua game. The second Senua game. Hellblade 2, basically. Let's call it that. Showed no gameplay. I mean, the game was announced 2019 with the Death Diary about them shooting their mocap stuff. Then we saw that awesome looking weird gameplay when they were fighting that giant on a beach. And now we're back about them talking about mocap, which feels a bit like a large step backwards rather than forwards, because like it's cool to show this, right? And it's of course like, yeah, we kind of already know that you're doing it because you've already showed that you're doing it in the first one, and you showed us already in the second one again that you're doing it, which, okay, you know, if that's what you're proud of, show it, but also show gameplay. You know, at this stage it's 4 years since you've announced this game, so which is worrying a lot of fans. It seems that the game is nowhere near ready, and like, look, if it needs to cook more, great, but that could also mean doom and gloom for the Hellblade community, that the game never really comes out, that they've just overspent and overreached and just can't put it together in a meaningful way. But you know what, let's think positive and think they just need more time to cook. They didn't really have a thing that's there that they could show that maybe made sense if they would show it. But then, you know, you could also talk about what you're about to see, try to, you know, prepare people and then show it. Because like Senua's Sacrifice already was a mind-twisty game with all the like internal dialogue of her being, you know, talking bad to herself and good to herself and all that stuff. So yeah, so next time or if any of the developers are listening, if you show blah blah, show pew pew and gameplay, you know, hitting, jumping, fighting monsters and all that stuff, or just like I think really the prime example of how to do it like properly and almost perfectly is Star Wars Outlaws this year around. We saw CG trailer, we saw blah blah, and then we saw extended gameplay. And if that mission isn't in the game when it comes out, some people will moan. But to be honest, we saw gameplay. We saw how it plays then, at least, and can have more of an idea of it. But yeah, that's just my humble and honest opinion. Then I wanted to talk a little bit about, for the last few minutes, about doing those big steps in your life. You know, like we all have things that we maybe at the time or maybe in hindsight think, wow, that was a big step. Holy guacamole, how did I manage to do that, right? For instance, for me, that is 12 years ago, moving to Ireland. I back then got a job in the gaming industry as a community manager for the German market of Star Wars The Old Republic. And like I did the interview for the job, didn't hear from them, I think it was 3 to 4 months, and then suddenly they call me and say, hey, you got the job, can you come here? And I said, well, you know, sure, I'll think, like it'll take me a month or so, but when do you actually need me? And they say, well, in 2 weeks. So I said yes, and I actually managed to do it in 2 weeks. Didn't know at the time that I wasn't choice A, I wasn't even choice C for that position. It was just people that got the job either didn't want to move to Ireland or couldn't move to Ireland. But hey, it gave me the chance to move to a country that I had been thinking about since I was a little boy, and work on something connected to Star Wars. You know, so big dream come true in a fan sense and in a professional sense as well. It's just that it didn't really pan out, because after 10 months they let most of us go, because I mean, you can read back on it, they overspent on everything other than the game, and the leadership didn't really know what they were doing. I felt like at the time, and the more I think about it, I feel about it today as well, because they were comparing the game with the vanilla World of Warcraft, which had come out, I think, 8 or 9 years prior to that, which I had pointed out from the start was a big mistake, because that's like someone today designing a car and comparing it to a 1930s Ford. It's just not the same. And you know, like in digital technology, that's probably a good comparison, the way that we go through it, right? And in hindsight, I was right. Yeah, but I digress. I wanted to go about big steps. So there will come times in your life where there are big steps, and it could just be like you know, getting married. It could be like buying your first car, or you know, doing, of course, like if you're in school, like doing a big test and whatnot, and you could be scared, worried, anxious, and all of that stuff. And that's totally understandable. Like, feel your feelings, right? That's absolutely okay to feel your feelings, right? But still do it. You know, it's not called big steps because they're easy. It's generally called big steps because they can be hard and they can seem hard. But in the end, in one way or another, they're worth it. Did I have, for instance, like with my move to Ireland, did I have a good time? I had good times, and I've had the worst times that a human being probably can't imagine. But would I do it again? Parts of it I'd love to do again. But yeah, I think overall it was a good step, and like I'm now at a point where I'm looking for my next big step, and you can bet your sweet patooties that I will go for it. You know, might that be a new job, a different country, trying something new. Like you know, I wrote a book and self-published a book a few years back. So you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is, even if the big step scares you, okay? As long as you don't hurt people. As long as you don't hurt people, do it. If you feel that you could be hurting people, I need to leave the tractor past there. If you feel you could be hurting people, then you might want to talk to those people first. Otherwise, if it's just gonna impact yourself, then do it. Do the big steps. You know, either it'll be a great success or it'll be a learning opportunity. So, but now I am once again entering the area where my reception is about to die. So thank you so much everyone for watching. Thank you everyone so much for listening, for following. Please click and subscribe to my YouTube channel, to my Instagram and to my TikTok. I've seen some great number increases on the TikTok viewership, but not in the follower number. So I'm hoping that some of you may have just not clicked yet on follow, and will do this now after this video. So you have a wonderful, blessed and kick-ass Thursday. Get ready for the weekend, because over here it's gonna be stormy. I hope you're gonna have a sunny weekend. Talk to you tomorrow.